Hello, I'm the real life fake wizard. On July 1st, 2026, Sony Interactive Entertainment posted a blog announcing that starting January 2028, physical disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will end. New games after that date hit the PlayStation Store and retailers in digital formats. On July 31st, 2026, during the Q1 earnings Q&A, Sony CFO Lin Tao got asked about the backlash and through an interpreter told investors they had thought about it, they understood the emotions, and they were going to cautiously move forward anyway. That is the polite corporate way of saying the petitions do not matter. All of your tweets and outrage across the internet doesn't matter. This video and all the data that we're about to discuss together doesn't matter to them, but it should definitely matter to you. Sony has made it crystal clear that they don't care what their customers want because, well, they believe they own you. They believe they've curated a marketplace for gaming that has trapped their customers inside their ecosystem, whether willingly or unwillingly, and that these gamers won't escape and go play somewhere else. We know this because of the data. We have reports that the plant that makes 600,000 discs per day has already gotten a $34 million investment into changing what the plant actually produces. This has reportedly been in the works for a long time. So no amount of us talking about it is going to change much because they've already put money down. But there is something to the talking, right? Most of the commentary about this issue is online. We talk about it on Twitter. We talk about it here on videos, but this is the internet. And as people often say, the internet is not real, right? The internet isn't actually indicative of how people feel in the real world. Well, we decided to challenge that narrative. For this video, we are going to GalaxyCon in Raleigh, North Carolina to talk to gamers and fans of nerd culture to see how they feel about Sony's decisions and where they stand on the death of physical media. GalaxyCon Raleigh ran July 23rd through July 26th, 2026 at the Raleigh Convention Center in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. It is GalaxyCon's flagship show, a 4-day festival of fandom. Organizers were expecting more than 50,000 attendees, which is a pretty large show, and a very good sample size to interview about their gaming beliefs. Of this, we got to interview 110 different people across a few days. We started off our discussion by asking people specifically, do they prefer physical media or digital media? Do you care about owning physical discs, or are you happy with digital downloads?
I'd say physical. I still keep all my DVDs that I've had, and I still buy them when I get a chance.
Definitely physical media, I'd say so, yeah.
Physical all the way.
100%.
There's something satisfying about the tangibility of a physical disc and having a collection that you could have on your shelf. As someone who tries to be a little bit more on the minimalist side, I like not having as much physical stuff as well, and just needing less space to store things.
Physical discs.
Physical media.
I like to have, if I'm buying a collector's edition of something, I like to have all the little knickknacks that come with it.
Oh, see, now that's an interesting point. Yeah, as the physical discs go away, the collector's editions are going to change. In fact, they've been conditioning this behavior of buying empty collector's editions for some time. Back in 2020 and 2021, Ubisoft told UK Xbox buyers that the collector's editions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, and Far Cry 6 would not include a disc. You paid collector money for the statue and the art book, and the game in the package was a digital key. PlayStation versions of those same Ubisoft boxes still got discs. North America still got discs. But UK Xbox gamers got a download code. But that was 5 and 6 years ago. If we look at just this past year, they're selling collector packages that do not include the game at all. Borderlands 4 has a collector's edition that has no game in it at a price point of $150. This includes a statue, a necklace, a map, some lithographs, and a code for some golden keys in the game. The game itself is sold separately. Randy Pitchford called it a collector's edition on social media, and then, after a bit of criticism, Gearbox tried claiming it was mislabeled and it's actually just a, quote, bundle, assuming that that means anything else. But then there's Xbox, who, under Phil Spencer, didn't even attempt to hide the lack of discs. Starfield Constellation Edition, for $300, included a download code and no disc. Avowed Premium Edition, $99 for a steelbook and a code in the box. Indiana Jones Collector's Edition, $130, code in the box. Flight Simulator 2024 Premium Deluxe Steelbook, $130, but it's a code in the box. When we look at Nintendo and the game keycard controversies where you're buying physical editions that trigger the downloads right on the cartridge, at least it triggers the download. I mean, it's still terrible, and the game keycards are not consumer friendly at all, but it is better than a single-time use download code. Xbox Collector's Editions are getting me to say Nintendo is doing something better. That is awful, because Nintendo does terrible things too. Maybe pigs are gonna fly. Own the discs, or do you prefer to just get your games
disc
digitally?
before disc, 100%.
Easy. I like having that option, like having the option that I actually own the thing and it can't be taken away from me.
Actually, digital. I feel like it's more able to I can store it better, so I don't have to lose a disc or break a disc and scratches.
Physical copies were just always the best option.
I'm a physical media person as far as movies and stuff, so I'm on the same train with y'all.
I think ownership really matters, and I really like going into a retro game store. You see it, there's cartridges and discs, and that's going away. And I don't like how all these digital licenses can just be revoked.
Ah, yes, digital licenses. He's right, Xbox, Nintendo, Sony, all of them can revoke your account and digital licenses for any reason at any time. PlayStation's own terms of service, as of March 2026 in the United States, spells it out in a language a middle schooler can understand. You buy a license for private, non-commercial use. That license is not transferable unless local law enforces it. Quote, you can use a product in the ways described in the license, but you do not own the product. And if we jump ahead to section 10.2, we'll see, quote, content on PlayStation is licensed on a non-exclusive and revocable basis. Revocable? Now that's a scary word. Means they could take it away from you at any time for any reason with no course to refund, and you would have paid full prices for products you don't own. We saw this play out a few weeks ago when Sony delisted over 500 films from accounts that bought those movies in the UK and Europe. And why did Sony delist those 500 possible purchases? Because licenses expired and Sony did not want to renew them. All the video games follow this same legal shape. Close the purchasing account and you lose the digital products tied to it. Suspend the account for a TOS breach, perhaps, and you can lose access to all the paid content. Ban the account outright, and the library goes with the login too. Physical editions don't ask Sony servers if you still deserve to play God of War this afternoon. Or at least they're not supposed to. But on July 26, 2026, just a few days ago now, Xbox services went down for about 20 hours. External licensing services Xbox depends on failed, and people started reporting that they couldn't sign in, buy games, or launch digital titles. Yeah, that's expected when everything is required to be online always, now isn't it? But it gets worse. Players started reporting that their discs couldn't be played because modern Xbox consoles still run, quote, entitlement checks even on physical games, and during the outage, systems failed to use the license data saved locally for online use, meaning that even when you have a disc in hand, Xbox, and that also implies Nintendo and PlayStation as well, have fail-safes inside the new systems that will knock out disc usage if they see fit. Perhaps all of these media preservation discussions are moot points, because Xbox and really the gaming apparatuses at hand have us by the balls. Now, Xbox has since announced that they are fixing that feature so it never happens again, even if Xbox services are down, but the identification of that problem remains. All it takes is the flip of a switch. You can spend $1,000 buying these new consoles, and you don't even own those either. But let's get back to the people. For this next segment, we started asking people how do they feel about PlayStation ending production of physical discs come 2028.
I mean, I'm sure it's a great idea to the guy making all the money, but not a great idea for someone who has to, play the games. Negative. Very, very terrible choices.
Makes things a lot more convenient, but again, you need to talk to people, so again, mixed opinions.
I mean, it's a console. The thing about consoles, back in the day, you used to be able to just put the disc in and play, but nowadays they're just removing that. So I highly disagree with that.
I think I gave up on console gaming like 5 years ago.
Right.
It's all PC now for me.
That's kind of sad. PlayStation started its whole thing about being a disc console. Like, it was the disc console in an era of cartridge games.
You're not going to have the ability to own something anymore, so it's not good in general, but it also takes away the novelty of it. So
I like digital game better, so I'm not really mad, but I'm like, man, like, you taking it now away something that was kind of cool.
In theory, I disagree, but I mean, games are already so big that they don't really like fit on discs anyway. It's just like, even since the Xbox One era, it's been basically just confirming that you have it. So, I mean, it sucks, but it's kind of just a waste of material.
I think it's a really bad decision. I think physical media is already been dying, and I feel like they're just kind of doing it as a money grab. This guy's kind of evil a little bit.
I think it's a very greedy decision, and it takes away the options for people to share, which is something that they really just dogged on Xbox years ago, and it seems very hypocritical. I think from a business standpoint, I think it's what they've always wanted, and I'm against it because I'm a collector. I've got a room dedicated to these physical items, and when you come to some place like this and you meet the voice actor, I can't bring my digital copy to have it signed.
When you have a digital copy of something, it never really feels like you even own it. Like, it's
No.
just, it can go away at any time. They can take it away from you whenever they want, really.
I'll probably move on. I want to say it matters. I think it sucks, but I unfortunately just you kind of got to move with the trends of the industry, unfortunately.
I don't like it at all. I think it's cheap. I think it's them trying to take away power from the player. I don't like it at all. And I don't like that they are constantly dodging the question, constantly dodging all the comments on Twitter. It's cowardly.
That's a good point there. The not taking responsibility with the community kind of thing. We actually have some motivation behind this from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. In early July 2026, after the PlayStation blog announced that January 2028 would see the end of disc production, Sony's public position was a decision based on, quote, consumer preferences and, quote, aligning more closely with how most of our community prefers to access games. That's their words, that's what they said. Schreier then challenged that, saying that taking away a choice is not aligning with anyone. Even the people who already buy digital goods get no victory here, because the secondary markets cause price competition. When everything is digital, that price difference goes away. He also claimed that Sony believes internally with this model that the angry minority of people upset about this adjustment is a minority that they think they can afford to lose. You understand what that means? It means if you're upset about this PlayStation disc thing going away and you perhaps leave PlayStation, they're willing to lose you to own the rest of the marketplace. Schreier's math using industry estimates is that on a $70 first-party physical game, the retailer takes about 30%, manufacturing eats a few bucks, and Sony walks away with roughly $45.50. When that same game is sold digitally on the PlayStation Store, Sony keeps nearly the whole $70 because they own the game and the store. This model is applicable to games like Spider-Man, God of War, and Horizon. But with third-party games, and also consider here most games at scale are third-party games, a licensing cut is in the neighborhood of about 15%, meaning Sony gets about 10 or 11 bucks on a $70 game. When the same sale is digital, the platform cut is closer to 30% because Sony owns the store. They make closer to $21 on a $70 game. And this is the same for Steam and Nintendo and Xbox as well. It's just the math here was coming from Sony. Steam also has a 30% platform fee. Xbox also has a 30% platform fee. At this time, I believe Nintendo has the same, but I don't have those numbers in front of me, and we're still recording. But in many ways, that is all part of the point. You could get Spider-Man PlayStation 4 for $14. It's the better version of the game, by the way. And Spider-Man 2, you can get for $27 at GameStop right now today. But on digital, those games hardly go on sale for more than $10 or $20 off at most. When Sony is the only storefront, they control all the prices too. But you know what? The real question we should be asking the people of GalaxyCon, because it ties together well here, is are you getting Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yes!
Yes, GTA 6?
Yes.
You getting it?
Yeah, we buying a PS5 as well.
You're getting a PS5 for it?
Yeah, just
Really?
Yeah.
I've considered it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things like, you know, are you part of the problem? It's like, but you also want to play this game. So it might be the exception rather than the rule.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you try to play it on day one if you could?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd totally do that.
Probably not.
No?
No.
I need to get GTA 6 now. I need it now, actually.
One day I do plan on getting it. Why not? I mean, it's GTA. Everybody's getting it.
Yeah, but I definitely am going to get it eventually. Yeah, I got to. GTA.
Get GTA 6?
You really think that's an important question to ask? Of course. Obviously. Who isn't?
I might. I really love Red Dead 2 and GTA 5.
Probably, but I don't know. It's just, I think the timing of everything was very suspicious. So
No.
No GTA for you?
I'm not really into GTA.
I've thought long and hard about this, and right now, I am planning on buying Wolverine instead because it will be on physical disc. I'm going to hold off and hope that there will be a physical release of GTA 6.
Of the 110 people that we spoke to, we asked 99 of them if they would be purchasing GTA 6. 82 of them had variations of yes, most of which saying that they'll be getting it on day one. And that makes sense. This is the biggest game of the decade, and the biggest game of the decade is shipping without a disc at all. If a product this big can ship without a disc and still sell like oxygen, then discs were never a requirement for success at all. Buying a disc is just a habit. Break the habit on a single title and nobody can boycott. Not effectively, anyway. Every executive around the globe is salivating, anxiously waiting for GTA 6 to drop. And why, you might ask? Because then they have all the permission they need to say the physical media argument is over. This video game is a proof of concept proposition to the entire gaming ecosystem. Rockstar and Take-Two set the console launch for November 19th, 2026 on PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series. Standard Edition is $80. Ultimate Edition is $100, which is the full base game, mind you. Pre-orders opened June 25th, 2026, and the, quote, physical version is confirmed as a box with a download code. There is no disc. Hollywood Reporter later reports a source saying that there are no plans to print GTA 6 discs at launch or in the months after. Strauss-Zelnick had told people physical was part of their plan with this game, a quote, big physical component. Well, technically a piece of cardboard with a key printed on it inside a physical plastic box is a physical component. They got us on a technicality. And look at the scale of it all. GTA 5 has sold about 230 million copies lifetime and opened with roughly $800 million in day one sales, but that was back in 2013. Analysts are already throwing around tens of millions of units for GTA 6 in just the first year, with common year one revenue talk in the multi-billion-dollar range. Take-Two's fiscal 2027 net bookings guidance sits around $8 to $8.2 billion. DFC and others have floated scenarios north of 30 or 40 million copies sold in 12 months. Newzoo has even floated week one unit sales in the high tens of millions. The reality here is that the buying populace is already too invested for detractors of the corporations to do anything about it. It's less of a wave happening of bad buying habits and more like a tsunami of people giving away their ability to ownership. Circana's Matt Piscatella reports that code-in-a-box units do not change total sales expectations. In the United States, as of the end of May 2026, more than half of Xbox Series consoles sold to date have no disk drive, and PlayStation 5 digital SKU numbers are already about a quarter of PlayStation 5 hardware sales. Nico Partners has put digital around 80% on PlayStation and about 90% on Xbox. Take-Two itself has been living in a world where nearly all of its revenue already runs digitally. So Rockstar is not gambling against the market at all. They are the market. Digital gaming has already won the volume war. When we say GTA 6 is a precursor, because it is, it's because this is the one franchise with demand inelastic enough to absorb customer rage. People can hate the empty box and still will buy Vice City 2.0. We heard that exact split of mind from the people on the GalaxyCon floor. People are upset about losing discs, but not upset enough to not buy GTA 6. This product is literally too big to fail. July 1st, 2026, PlayStation announces new games will stop getting discs in 2028. That is 6 days after GTA 6 pre-orders and the code-in-the-box confirmation went live. Coincidence is a nice word for people who don't ask more questions. Now, I want to be clear here. This video and my position is not to insult people or say, let's start a boycott, let's start a movement. No, clearly that's not an option here. What is important at a point like this, because we are at an inflection point in the gaming apparatus, the gaming ecosystem, and gaming period, right? But what's important is to know that these corporations are not your friends. They are not out to advocate for you. They want to take advantage of you. They're playing on your emotions, always attempting to control how you think and feel. The best thing that you can do now is know that. And maybe choose for yourself instead of just getting something because everyone else is getting it. People like to say that I call for boycotts, but that's not true and it never has been. I've always wanted and still believe that consumer advocacy is not found in boycott or protest movements. It's in individuals. It's in people like you and I making informed decisions. That's what matters most. Most people don't know. Most people don't know what's really going on. But if people around the world actually had a grasp and an educated mind on how truly taken advantage of and manipulated we all are all the time from all different angles, they'd make better purchasing decisions because they would have more information to make decisions from. I think that's how you make real change. It's with one person at a time, not with a movement and not with a boycott. I want to thank the people of GalaxyCon for welcoming us as fake wizards and look forward to attending again in the future. Until next time, my friends, create, innovate, inspire, and cancel your Disney Plus subscription. We'll see you next time.